Hail and well met, weary travelers. My name is Mackey, and welcome to the first episode of r/RPG Horror Stories. In this episode, we have stories featuring a couple horrible DMs, ones who will probably make you appreciate yours just a little bit more. Without further ado, let us begin. This story is brought by user Repeat Quick, and is titled 2,000 Enemies in One Encounter. TLDR, TPK against 2,000 minions without foreshadowing, hints, or exit. Our quest was to disrupt the production of some magic ore which the evil guy was using to turn the population into slave warriors. We found the mine, went in, scouted the location, around 20 minions and 2 leaders in a 90 by 120 foot map. Seems doable. I use the Battlemaster ability to judge all the enemies against my character. Fight seems doable. We commence the combat. I attack one of the leaders. 26 to attack roll. DM. The enemy seems to evade your attacks. I ask if it was an illusion. DM says it's not. No roll. We continue. The cave is entirely filled with anti-magic, so our wizard suddenly becomes useless. We protect him at all cost. So, already as a combat encounter, this really sucks. I get not wanting something to be too easy for your players to just mow down enemies, but to have a situation where one or more of the party members are completely useless just takes the fun out of it for all those players. Maybe have a few obstacles that are in the way of combat, sure, like maybe having the anti-magic field have a switch in the room that the players could use to turn it off so the wizard could help. But to have the wizard just be useless for an entire fight just seems wrong and almost targeted. And can we also just mention that 26 is a stupidly high AC for one creature? I get some creatures have high AC, but this seems so far like it's supposed to be a medium level encounter. The wizard wants to use Arcana or Perception to guess what's going on with the unhittable leader. Is there a hidden orchestrator? DM. You don't see any invisible creatures or anything unusual with the leader. No roll. Our anti-magicked wizard climbs on a rock to escape the mobs. Then, ninja rats fall from the ceiling, assassinating the wizard in about one turn. But he just looked up? DM. They weren't there when you looked. Okay, wait. What? That is absolutely bullshit! I get if the player hadn't looked up, they would have been surprised, but to not have them one moment and then suddenly appear just so you can down the player is stupid! Also, the cave fills with poisonous gas. More minions. Though I have good times with the Dragonborn fighter using the new Fizben's Dragon Breath. We ruled it's non-magic, therefore working. I see there's no way out of here without losing the wizard to the rats. AC 12 and no magic. Swarmed. Finally, the leaders fall. And still more minions. DM says meta, grinningly, do you think you can kill all of them? We fight another 60 minutes. Combat becomes tedious. When we decide to escape, 20 rats opportunity attack me and multi-crit, downing my PC. The DM later said he chose to place 2,000 rats into the cave. 2,000! Without any foreshadowing or exit strategy. His reasoning? It's not my job to provide solutions, that's your job. No? Your job as a DM is to provide the players clues for them to come to their own solutions. If you don't give them anything to work with, then you're just setting them up for failure. And even if your players can't find any obvious solutions, there is such a thing as a DM fiat that could provide your players an out or something to keep them from TPKing. Especially since this entire situation was not your player's fault. His encounters before were also more than deadly. Red Dragon against a group of melee not having any ranged weapons, fantastic fight. Session before a city of angels. Before that, a purple worm against us with 4 exhaustion levels. One session, I failed an intimidation roll against an NPC with a 31. I really like my D&D group, great friends, but his DM style is not for me, sadly. He'd rather lose me as a player than change his point of view, which I believe based on our previous discussions. I'm tired of failing. I told him that, and he says, "It's your point of view. I had fun today." To cut some slack, he's excellent in making maps from plaster and 3D prints. Like, really good. What should I do? How do I fix this situation? OP, if you haven't already, just leave. If your DM is going to be so stubborn and only consider his own fun over that of his players, just go. The maps are not worth it. This DM seems like the type that tries for a TPK every session and then is surprised when no one else shows up. As a DM, yes, it's important for you to have fun, but you have to consider the players' fun as well. It's a team game, and the DM is still part of that team. This next story is brought by user PickleRick2137 and is titled, 2 PCs Turned Evil for Counting Their Kills. So, do you remember the scene from Lord of the Rings when Legolas and Gimli had their contest about who would kill more orcs? So a few months ago, I and one other player from one of the campaigns decided to do something like this with our characters. We both were fighters and basically the main damage dealers of our party. Our team took part in a large battle between mercenaries and army deserters. It was our job to capture the deserters' chief and arrest him, but on the way we had to face quite a lot of his soldiers. Before the battle came, my and the other players' PCs made a bet on which of them was better at killing, and therefore they were supposed to count their kills in the battle. Whoever kills the most enemies wins. The battle lasted quite a long time, literally 2 to 3 hours of combat divided into 3 smaller clashes in 3 locations, first in the village, then in the forest, and at the end in the ruins of the fort. And during it, our fighters were shouting every time they killed someone. At the end of the battle, my fighter counted 11 kills and the other one won 13. We also managed to capture the leader of the deserters, and that was the end of the session. After the session ended, the DM informed me and the other fighter that from now on our characters turned evil. Mine turned from good to evil, and the other one from lawful to lawful evil. We were kinda shocked. Like, why? DM explained that it was because our PCs enjoyed killing and made it our fun, or something like that. Of course, we disagreed with this and gave him a lot of arguments against his decision. For example, that we killed deserters who raided nearby villages and harmed innocent civilians, that we saved the lives of other mercenaries, or that this is what mercenary work is based on. The rest of the party supported us, but remained mostly neutral. The DM, however, refused to listen to us, and declared that this is the final decision and will consider whether to change it back if our PCs will behave. The whole situation took about 2 to 3 sessions, after which he had to bring the characters back to their original state, because we weren't doing anything wrong, just good things. But in the time of those 3 sessions, some of the NPCs started to act weird towards our fighters. Like they were not trusting us, or were scared of our characters, or something like that. It didn't really make too much sense, because no one except some mercs knew about the situation. And after everything went back to normal, all NPCs just magically started to trust us again as if nothing happened. I still don't know why he did that. Like, it didn't serve the plot in any way, and it wasn't part of any interesting story. I still don't know why he did that. So, my take from this is that the DM was acting like the entire world was like one of those video games where one bad act made the entire world go against you. Like they somehow knew in their hive mind that you did something bad and they would not trust you, or maybe even might threaten to call the guard. Despite the fact that what they did wasn't really all that bad. There's a difference between this situation and being complete murder hobos. Murder hobos will literally kill anyone and anything just because they can, no matter whose side they're on, or even if they're innocent. These were just a couple of players who decided to make a competition of killing deserters because, honestly, the soldiers would have been killed anyway. Why not have some fun in it, considering it did take them literal hours to complete? I think this was just petty. And with that, the stories are over for today. I hope to do more for an outro once things get more off the ground, but for now, I will take my leave. I hope you all enjoyed the stories, and I hope to see you all again. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you all next time.